Difficulties, so we appreciate your patience as we have a volunteer who has stepped in a slight, not a crisis, but not what we planned on. So have patience with us as Autumn, our volunteer this morning, is learning what we need for our tech to work. So thank you.
Give it up for Autumn.
Almost ready. It's always something. Oh my gosh, I don't know where my pick is. No. There once was a union maid. She never was afraid of goons and ginks and company finks and the deputy sheriffs that made the raid. She went to the union hall when a meeting it was called, and when the company boys came round, she always stood her ground. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. No, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. The union maid was wise to the tricks of the company spies. She'd never be fooled by a company stool. She'd always organize the guys. She always get her way when she asked for better pay. She'd show her card to the company guard, and this is what she'd say. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die.
Thank you, Ellen and Diana. Let us sing together number 109 in the gray hymnal. Please join in body or spirit. It's As We Come Marching, Marching. Please stand.
As we come marching, marching in beauty of the day, amid the darkened kitchens, a thousand workshops pray, are touched with
Thank you. So wonderful to be here on this beautiful Labor Day morning. Here at the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington, every day, in every way, we bid you welcome. In this community of radical inclusion, we make space for what you believe, who you are, what you love, and who you love. Your whole self is welcome here. For some of you, this refrain is going to be familiar, so I want you to hear this. Some of it will be new. It is important that you showed up today. Do you know that? Gathering in community is an act of rebellion against isolation and hopelessness. Yes. Yes. Knowing this to be true, please repeat after me. We are rebels for hope. We are rebels for hope, and that we are. My name is Reverend Karen Madrone, and I am your service leader today. My pronouns are she and her. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us, whether enjoying the service in person, watching online on YouTube, or maybe even at some future date you are watching us. All are welcome. Today, we, UU Farmington, are excited that our friends from First U Detroit and Northwest are joining us. Thank you. Reverend Julie Brock will be preaching today, and we look forward to what she has to say. What a wonderful opportunity for us all to come together. In addition, I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors here today. After the service, all are welcome to stay for coffee and conversation downstairs in our reception hall, which we also call Adams Hall. In case you hear that and you're like, what is that place? It's just downstairs, right down the stairs, and we also have an elevator. Today, we are having a Caring Collection Sunday for Mothering Justice. On Labor Day weekend, it's fitting that we support workers, if you haven't already picked up on the theme. And Mothering Justice has been doing the heavy lifting on that for years. This grassroots organization describes its mission as advancing policies that center the needs of mothers, particularly Black and brown moms, to ensure that families thrive. By focusing on issues like paid family leave, a livable minimum wage, affordable childcare, and reproductive justice, they also work for the rights of all workers. Mothering Justice played a large role in last year's state-level earned paid sick time and increased minimum wage victories. When we take the offering later on in the service, your contributions can be received through the envelopes that you received when you came in. You can put cash or check in here, and you can also make a contribution through the QR code that's on the front of the envelope. In a few weeks, join us for UCF's annual fall picnic. September 14th, we will begin at 10:30. That will be in lieu of a service. We will all be joining there at the Novi Lakeshore Park, Pavilion number 1. Don't worry, all this information is also in the magnets and the e-blast. Membership committee is providing hot dogs, veggie dogs, corn, and lemonade, and we are encouraging folks to also bring side dishes to share. If you would like to volunteer or support in any way, please contact Liz Knight, the chair of our membership committee. Now, look around you. Do you notice anything different? Anything a little sparkly clean? Yes, so we had a couple of volunteers who came in yesterday morning and they scrubbed these windows. If you are one of those volunteers, please stand. Thank you. And I know that Barb Eglinton in the back, she's organizing quarterly cleanup days. If you would like to be part of that, please join in. It really, really makes a difference and contributes to our community. Opportunities for connection this week are the men's lunch on Tuesday, and there will be a quarterly book discussion Tuesday evening where folks will discuss the book Remarkably Bright Creatures. And you are welcome to come, even if you haven't read the book. It will be at 7 o'clock in, I believe, Adams Hall. But if you want to know for sure, look on our website or our Facebook, which is also where you can keep up to date with what's happening now. Now, we encourage everybody to turn the ringer off on your cell phones or any devices that you have with you, but you can, of course, keep your phones on. You're encouraged to take pictures, post to your friends. Look at this place I have found of people who are rebels for hope. Our chalice lighting today comes from Paul Dalzell. I'd like you to take this into your heart. On this Sunday before Labor Day, we're about to light this flame to honor all work. In fact, Julie, would you like to light the flame? Oh, it's right there, that one. Sorry. When you're new to a place, you're like, what's happening here? So there's already a small lit candle there. Oh, the lit candle went out. That's how things go. Not only the work we do for pay with our hands, our backs, and our minds, that is important, yes, but also the work we do for love. The work we do to help others stay alive and belong instead of being outcasts. The work we do to ensure people are paid fairly, work reasonable hours, and have quality in their lives. The work we do caring for the young, the old, the infirm. The work we do to mentor, to educate, to advocate, and to enrich the community, the country, and the world. We honor all the labors that support our world and all the work we do to make this a better place. We have lit our chalice with love in our hearts that honors all work. Thank you. Please join in the reciting the UCF mission statement, which is on the front of your order of service. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, and live with compassion. Argo is now going to share a message for all ages. If you didn't hear Argo, continuing technical difficulties. We're having a morning.
All right, any children who are out there and want to join this to see the pictures a little clearer, you can come join me in the front row or up here on the stage itself. Today we are reading Viva's Voice by Raquel Donoso. Since the day she was born, Viva's voice had been the mightiest in the room. It boomed like an earthquake. It shook the slide on the playground. But it was especially loud at home, always overpowering Poppy's quiet voice. Poppy's voice was quiet, but his job was loud. Poppy drove buses, very big, very loud buses. 2 buses actually connected together to make one giant snake, swerving and curling through the town. Viva loved riding in the town with Poppy on his bus, greeting passengers along the way. Hola, she would yell as they got on the bus, and hasta luego as they climbed off. The sound of the cars, honk honk, the bus opening doors, bus doors opening and closing, whoosh, thud. All of it was music to Viva's ears. And the tacos, quesadillas, and hot chocolate they stopped for were music to Viva's tongue. Today was Viva's first day of summer break, and she couldn't wait to spend the day with Poppy. Poppy, I'm ready to go to work with you today, Viva shouted, jumping up and down. Mija, not today, Poppy murmured. Viva, please don't bother Poppy today, said Mommy. But why? I'm on strike, and I'm not sure when I'll go back to the driving buses, Poppy spoke softly. What's a strike? Asked Viva, raising her eyebrow and wrinkling her nose. I'm part of a group of people called a union, Poppy explained. Unions help workers get treated fairly. The bus drivers want more pay and better benefits. We had decided to stop working and go on strike until we get the things we asked for. What do you do on a strike? Viva wondered. We go to the offices where our bosses work and hold up signs and we chant. That's called a picket line. We let everyone know what we want. One voice alone may not be heard, but lots of voices together can make a big noise. Poppy, I can strike, Viva exclaimed. I know how to make lots of noise. Oh, I know you do, Viva. But this isn't a place for little kids, Poppy said. Viva hated to be told she couldn't do something because she was little. Por favor, Poppy, I promise to listen to you and be quiet. Please, implored Viva. Remember, I'm working early today, added Mommy. Well, Poppy said, I guess that means you're coming with me. The picket line was magical. Signs bounced up and down, bright blue and red. Cars passed by, honking their horns. A woman with a bullhorn chanted questions, and everyone in the crowd responded. It was music to Viva's ears. Viva learned the responses quickly and delighted in shouting along with everyone else. She was sure today was the best first day of summer break ever, until she looked at Poppy. What's wrong, Poppy? Asked Viva after seeing his furrowed forehead. I have to go on stage and make a speech in front of all of these people, he admitted in his quiet voice. He didn't talk much, and he definitely didn't like to yell. Even when Viva did something wrong, Poppy never raised his voice. Poppy, I'll go up with you, Viva offered, squeezing his hand. Poppy let out a long, deep exhale. His forehead relaxed. With Viva nearby, Poppy found the courage to belt out his speech. The crowd's chanting got louder and louder. Everyone was cheering them on. Poppy put Viva on his shoulders and hit his bullhorn. Si se puede, she shouted to the cheering crowd. On the drive home, Viva honked Poppy's horn. The faint chants of the workers of the picket line echoed in her ears. Viva, your voice made me brave today. I wouldn't have had the courage to give that speech without you, Poppy said. Viva smiled. Poppy's words were music to her ears. That's the end.
And now today we would like to introduce, we are changing up our children's recessional song. Normally, for the past couple of years, we've used a song from our hymnal, but we are changing it to the song in your order of service. It's the second page. We're also, thank you to Autumn for already putting the words up on the screen. So before we sing it, then I would like you, I'm going to read the words to you and just encourage you to read along. And then because we specifically change it to this song because we want our children to know how much they are loved. Do we love our children? Yes, okay. So when we sing this song, we are singing a blessing to our children. If you are a child who did not come up before, but you would like to come up, you are welcome to. And then after I'm going to read you the words together, and then Ellen is going to lead us through singing it twice. We're all going to just sing it together. You'll catch on. It's super easy. And then we have our rainbow arch. If you are sitting in a row, I see that there's an orange there that's by itself. If this first row here, if you could turn around and get that orange behind you, and you and Joan across from you can hold that together, that would be great. We just need to make sure that there's somebody else on the other side who can hold up the other side. Yeah, we can't know where people are going to sit when we put it out. So, so when we get to that, then you'll lift up the rainbow arch and all of our kids will walk through it. It's a really fun thing if you haven't done it yet. So, I appreciate that now our rainbow arch is ready. Okay, so listen to these words and hold them in your heart. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, now I'm reading the words to you, and then you can hear them, feel them in your body. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go. Let's sing it once with the children up here, and then the second time, then the children will walk through the arch. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, as you... Have them stand. Have them stand. Thank you so much. One of the things I love about Unitarian Universalism that we hold in our hearts to be true but don't always practice very well, but we can do this, is we adapt and try. We are always experimenting and trying out and planning and dreaming. So this is one of the ways that we do that, and we're trying to always strive into living our values. What does this look like now? So one of the ways that we're doing that, especially when we gather as a larger congregation, is that we don't have people coming up in person and saying their joys and sorrows. Instead, we hold them in our hearts. Maybe we take a moment to say them out loud. But we hold that we, three congregations, and who knows what the future might hold for our collective work together, but we all are in community together. So let's just take a couple of minutes where we're going to hold our joys and sorrows as a collective. Take a moment of quiet together. Notice your body. Notice your breathing. Where might you be holding tightness? Breathe into that space. We all have things we hold dear. Take a moment now to acknowledge that which brings us joy and sorrow. If anybody would like to say a name out loud, you are welcome to do that now. Shirley Perkins. Joan Daly. John McKenzie.
Lacey Toyos and Carolyn Landrum.
Jeremy Shedd. Let's take another moment to sit with these names, both joys and sorrows, as we are sitting here together in another moment of silence together. For these and the joys and sorrows that are held in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, I offer this prayer. Source of radiance and resilience, space of love within you. Keep watch with those who work, or watch, or weep, May the suffering be soothed. May the sick be tended. May the weary find rest. May the dying and those who love them find peace. May the joys be shielded. And may all know that we are surrounded in a love that is with us always, a web that connects us to all that exists. I was about to say we light 3 candles, but again, our little candle has gone out, so just imagine these 3 candles represent all the joys, sorrows, and the strength of the gathered community that supports you and brings you peace. And whichever community you are a part of, from here or beyond. Thank you, Julie. Yes, when in this space we need to have the windows open, sometimes that blows out our candles.
Spirit moves.
Yes. So please remain seated for singing our meditation song, number 123 in the great hymnal, Spirit of Life. Nope, still can't. Okay.
That was just pure static.
Okay.
Did our ghost work?
Yes. No, that was.
And it didn't have batteries. This working?
Can you turn it? Ooh, there we go.
I apologize. We're like pitch hitting with our great volunteers, so thank you.
Eli and Anna, one more time.
Is that better? Can you hear me? That's where we go on a microphone. Okay. Yes. And the reason why we're so obsessed with our microphones, even though it didn't work out today, is because one of our values, obviously, is inclusiveness. And one thing that we have is headsets for people who hear through the microphones. So the people who generally use them aren't here today, so I feel a little less bad, but I apologize if you all didn't hear me back there. We're doing the best that we can. This haven, this refuge, this place of worship and wonder exists because we, all of you and many others, make it so. With our contributions, the gifts of our time, as mentioned yesterday about our windows, our skills, sometimes our food, our love, our laughter, and yes, our money. Please join in giving so that we may continue to have a place. If you could just hold off 1 second. Yes, that fortifies and challenges us to live into our shared beliefs as we strive to create a just and loving world. You are now invited to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of the congregation. As a reminder, this offering also includes a collection for Mothering Justice, as mentioned earlier. The offering will now be received. Please join me in reading the offertory blessing that is in your order of service. To the work of creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings. Thank you.
Should I just use that one?
We'll try it. Turn it on.
It's on.
Yeah, it's well.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. It's good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Don't worry, I just turned it off so y'all didn't have to hear this.
Good work.
Hello? Hello?
There you go.
Hey! Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Are there Kleenex back here? All right. Weather change, huh? Y'all, I'm so excited. I'm so excited today. I'm so excited. Do you want to know why I'm so excited? I love Labor Day. I love Labor Day. I love talking about it. I love preaching about it. It's one of my favorite sermons of the year, and usually I get to do it to like 12 people because nobody comes to church on Labor Day. But look at all of you gorgeous souls that showed up here today to celebrate the legacy of labor and love. And y'all, we need to do that in Metro Detroit, huh? Listen, labor is not a new thing. It is not a new movement. Humans have been toiling and laboring their entire lives, literally for the existence of the species. We have been having to use our life force to trade our energy for sustenance. We used to do it as hunters and gatherers, and then there was the onset of agriculture, and we did it as farmers and fishers. And what do you want me to do? All right. It's the dress. The dress itself.
It was actually on.
Oh, so I should put it on the stole, so I just did that.
on the stool.
Okay, all right. Listen, we're going to dress meet together.
Put this on. Okay.
Look.
Now attach it right here.
Okay, my mom is on vacation. So. Yes, yeah, all right.
Okay.
Listen, when they said ministry takes a certain amount of vulnerability, I don't think they meant that, right? All right, so where were we? Hunters and gatherers, fishers and farmers? Is that where we were? We haven't gotten that far. So, then in 1698, the very first prototype of the steam engine came out. And over the next 50 to 60 years, the advancement of that technology and other technologies changed the way human beings labored again. We went from farmers and fishers to manufacturers. It was supposed to be really great because all of this new technology meant that human beings had more time and space to do less labor or to manufacture items of comfort, widgets and trinkets and things galore, like the Little Mermaid said. But, thank you, Martha. Appreciate it. But Martha gets all of my references. She was like, I literally did a sermon about a racehorse for 20 minutes the other day, and Martha was sitting there going, yeah, I'm with you, I know everything. I appreciate you, Martha. So, human beings then had this existence with labor where they were manufacturers, and this thing happened where the workers themselves stopped having as much agency over their life force and the decisions that they got to make together. A farmer has much more agency over their crops than a widget maker in a factory has over the conditions of making their widgets. So human beings did this inspiring thing that human beings did. They looked across at each other and they said, you, I see you, I'm in solidarity with you, and we are going to be in union with one another, and we are going to take up a cause. There's more of us than there is them, and we're gonna make this happen. Do you know the very first strike? Nah, I'm gonna make you guess. When was the first strike in the United States? Yes. What?
Where?
When? What year?
1917.
1917? 1912? 1768. 1768, the first strike in the United States. It was a bunch of tailors and dressmakers who were told their wages were going to go down. And they're like, well, good luck getting dresses made then. And it worked. It worked. The very first strike in the United States was a successful strike. People saw that and they're like, solidarity, together. This is how we get things done. Have y'all ever seen Newsies? Oh, you need to see Newsies. It is a Broadway musical and Disney movie, but see the musical. It is a Broadway musical about a bunch of little boys based on a true story. And when I say little boys, I mean the newspaper boys in the 1800s were like 7 to 12 years old, and they struck against William Randolph Hearst and Pulitzer, whose first name I can't remember. John Pulitzer? Joseph. Thank you, honey. I live with my researcher. It's really great. He's going to be fact-checking me throughout this whole thing. Yeah, preach on this and be married to a labor historian. I'm just up here because I'm charming. So, these like literal children were striking, and they sort of won a little bit. It's complicated. It was a mixed outcome. But they looked at each other and said, we can improve our material well-being. And that was in 1899. And then the idea sort of started to expand. People were like, that's great, but like, should children be laborers? What are we doing here, guys? And I think that one of the most culminating moments of that focus of like labor and what we do with it happened in 1916 at the Shirtwaist Factory fire. It was the most deadly factory fire in United States history. 146 workers died. And 146 workers died when they shouldn't have, because they were locked in the building because the managers didn't want them going out for breaks. They were locked in the building. And after that, a garment workers union started. And after that, people were increasingly looking around and saying, solidarity, we will have better lives. We will have agency and control over our own life force. And one of the most pivotal things that happened in that journey happened right here in Michigan in 1936 and 1937 with the Flint sit-down strike. That's right. That's right, because before this, the bosses would just bring in scab workers. They'd just say, okay, we can replace you. And the people of Flint in that GM plant, they were like, Des is from Flint, she knows. They were like, wait a minute, what if we struck right here? What if we literally slept on the equipment that you think you're going to replace scab workers with? What if we took this place over? And suddenly, there was a blueprint for striking that left the companies with literally no choice but to acquiesce. And so instead of everything shutting down across the country, we passed the Fair Labor Standards Act in 1938. The Fair Labor Standards Act said that there was going to be a 40-hour work week. It said children get protection against being laborers. It said that there would be safe working conditions for the laborers, and it said that there would be a federal national minimum wage. Fair Labor Standard Act of 1938. And I wouldn't be standing here today as educated as I am, preaching to you all, if my great-grandfather's dream of immigrating to this country hadn't culminated in my grandfather working on the GM line and my truck driver father being a Teamster and having a union to support him. My life, my American dream was made possible because of unions. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the patented Julie Brock Labor Day sermon. I do it every year. I talk about how amazing the unions are. I sometimes talk about the Battle of the Overpass or some specific thing that's making Des cry right now. And then we're gonna all sing Solidarity Forever together and Lon's gonna cry. It's what I do every year. Except this year it felt weird. It felt weird to do it this year because for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been doing it in Detroit. And it just so happened that in our liturgical calendar, it was time for us to come to Farmington, which is great. I love coming here. You are so fun to preach for. But I felt so weird taking the labor sermon out of Detroit and moving it to the suburbs. Because the culminating piece of the labor story, it ends in 1955 with the Treaty of Detroit happening. The Treaty of Detroit was the thing that allowed labor unions, laborers, the middle class life, high wages, health care, pensions. And those people, once they got that middle class life, instead of turning to their neighbors in the cities that built those unions and saying, I'm gonna take you with me, they moved to the suburbs. And they got new neighbors, and they left the people that didn't have the protection of unions behind, mostly black people and brown people and women. And so it feels weird to take this sermon here. Because the other thing is, labor is the force. It's the force that has most helped us cement human rights in our daily living. I firmly believe that. And it hasn't done enough. It hasn't done enough, and it can't be the only thing. I've been at the People's Conference for Palestine all weekend, happening in Detroit, and Chris Smalls was one of the keynote speakers. He spoke. Do y'all know who Chris Smalls is? Chris Smalls is a labor organizer. He is the only person to ever organize a labor union successfully against Amazon. He did it in New York, and then he just started learning about labor history, and then he went to Palestine, and he said, oh, there was a moment when labor was going to be the thing that built solidarity between human beings that allowed us to see our humanity regardless of our work, and we didn't do that. We failed. We stopped short. And it's true, there's always been this debate about inside-outsideness in labor and in unions. There's always been a who's in the club, who's in the tent, who's in the union. There's been fights about whether we let people of color in unions or not. Unions have been explicitly anti-immigrant because they are afraid of allowing people to come and take their jobs. Does this sound familiar? Unions have been terrible for the environment sometimes because they care about the thing that they're doing and getting jobs for their workers. But here's the thing, it didn't always have to be like that, and it wasn't always like that. Y'all heard of the AFL-CIO? Yeah, once upon a time it was the AFL and the CIO. The AFL said that the people that should be included in unions were the skilled workers. The reason that tailor's strike worked is because you couldn't just get a bunch of skilled tailors to start making dresses, but it didn't work as well for longshoremen who were just hauling boxes. So the AFL said, no, unionization should be for skilled work. And the CIO said, no, it should be for everybody. It should be for everybody. Everybody who's a laborer should have a union. And then there was this really progressive arm of the CIO that said, and everybody who isn't, everybody who doesn't have a job should have an unemployment union. Everybody who doesn't have a house or has a bad landlord should have a tenants union. Everybody who is discriminated in society should have a union. We should have a union of people of color. We should have a union of women. We should have a union of LGBTQ people. We should just unionize the heck out of everything. Because being in solidarity with our fellow human beings is how we make mass movements happen against increasingly consolidated power and oppression. And so there were these really leftist fringe movements within the CIO. And then that Treaty of Detroit happened. That Treaty of Detroit happened, and people look back at that and they say that was the moment when the working class got their payday. But it was actually, I think, the moment that the working class sold out their future. Because here's what they were bargaining for. You want to know why they got high wages and health care and pensions and everything that they could possibly imagine? Sorry? They gave up the right to strike. And not only did they give up the right to strike, Lon, what they were also bargaining for and fighting for, control over major decisions in the company. They were fighting for the very means of production, and they sold it out for a lake house up north. They were fighting for wrestling with what it means to live in a capitalist society where our worth and our basic human rights are tied to our labor. And they sold it out. And my family was part of it. And I don't even shame them, because man, if you've been working class all your life and you get a ticket out, you take it, right? I'm not shaming them, but I'm saying what could have been. What could have been. Because we Unitarian Universalists, we believe in freedom, right? We believe in freedom. We believe in connection. And there is no way to be free if you are tied economically to a coercive labor system. There is no way to be free if you are tied to a coercive labor system. You want to know how I know? All right, I'm going to piss a bunch of people off. You ready? Because I've been witnessing a genocide in my lifetime and I haven't said anything about it. I haven't said nearly enough about it. I haven't poured my heart out about the heartbreak I'm seeing every day because I'm scared I'll lose my job and my kids' health care will go away. Our very freedom of the pulpit is compromised because my health care is tied to what I do for a living. So here's the thing, labor's changing again. Technology is changing it. And we need to adapt. What if instead of labor unions that were tied to what we did for a living, we tied our labor, we tied ourselves together by what we spent our life force on. We tied ourselves together as people who needed housing. And that we were a union of people that needed housing, or a union of people that needed health care. What if we were a union of people who cared about the environment? And it doesn't matter if you're making money doing it or not. You look across and you see another person and you say, you hold my values, you care about what I care about. And then we formed unions that way. Because you know what? Everybody needs housing. And everybody needs health care. And everybody needs sustainable food and education. And if we continue to segregate ourselves in enclaves of places where we're not next to the people that need those things, we cannot build solidarity with them. The workers moved to the suburbs, and so did Unitarian Universalism. It's not an accident that our wealthiest churches are in Birmingham and Grosse Pointe and Ann Arbor. It's not an accident, and we can't purport to stand for freedom and justice and connection if we hide ourselves in wealthy enclaves and don't connect with the people that we are in human union with already, even if we forget and don't hold it up to ourselves. We would be such hypocrites if we kept talking about them building walls on the borders and yet built economic barriers around the cities where we live and the food where we eat and the way we educate our children. We have to stop it. Labor failed, but we don't have to. Labor failed, but it taught us the way. Labor failed somewhat and did brilliant, beautiful things also. And now it's our time to do the same. We are in union. Our deepest theology tells us that we are in a human union with one another, sitting here in this room. And we can't think about labor just as what we do for money, because every way that we spread our life force is how we do our labor. Trust me, I was literally in labor for 2 days, and nobody said that that counted towards any kind of union. And yet I was in solidarity with any woman who was ever having the experience of birthing a child. And I think we need to name that solidarity explicitly. What if every time someone was shot by the police, what if every unarmed black man's family knew that they could call on a union of people to show up, that we already had the email lists and the people explicitly signed up to show up? What if every time they tried to take away trans health care, there was a union of people that was going to show up and strike and say, no, that's a basic human right. We've already decided it's for everyone. Solidarity. What if we lived in a real human union with one another? We have to start thinking about it differently. We have to start thinking about labor differently. We have to start thinking about our connections differently. I still want to end this sermon with our fists in the air singing Solidarity Forever, because I think the unions paved the way in showing us what we need to do in order to advance as a human species in this technological and economic milieu. But this time, I don't want to be singing it as an ode to the unions of old. I want to sing Solidarity Forever for the union that's forming in this room right now. For all of you who the next time your ministers or your justice leaders or your lay leaders call on you and say, we need to show up for these people who haven't been shown up for, we will say yes, because we remember that our humanity does not stop at traditionally segregated lines, even if we aren't reminded of it every day. Will you sing with me? Can we remember? Amen.
In case you don't know, it's on the second page of your order of service.
Thank you.
solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. We can build a new world from the ashes of the old. Folks, look around you right now. Look around you right now. Look at the strength and power of people in this room. Okay, but here's the thing. It's spiritual work. It's spiritual work to look across at other people and say, I am you and you are me, and we are not separate. It is spiritual work, and our empathy has been trained to only see humanity in its fullest in people like us. So this is what we're doing. We're here now in Farmington, but y'all are coming to Detroit. I think we should go to Flint. I think that we should spend our time in the places with the people that need us the most, because there's more of us than there are of them, and we need to let them know. Amen? Amen. Go in peace, return in love. Oh.